Hey everybody, welcome to the Cardone Solutions Podcast. I am your host of the Cardone Solutions Podcast. My name is David Bradley, Senior Sales and Marketing Manager with Grant Cardone. Today, we are going to take a look at handling objections at the point of contact. There's one that we hear all the time, and it could be one that is grinding your gears. I don't know, but stay tuned, because we're going to take a deep dive on what to do with not interested, okay? First, if you are getting value from the Cardone Solutions Podcast, if it is helping you, if it is keeping you motivated, if it's giving you something positive to listen to in the car, on the drive home, and on the way back from work, if it's helping you, could it possibly be helpful for somebody else as well? If that is the case, if you're in agreement with me on that bad boy, then feel free to share it with anybody that you think could benefit from it. Also, make sure that you're subscribed to the podcast. I am updating this thing once, twice, three times a week. Trying to deliver value to you. What we're doing on the podcast is this. We're taking some of Grant's free content, things he's putting out in email strategies, blog posts, videos he's doing, tweets sometimes, and we're going to dissect them, pull them apart, make sure you're getting everything you can out of it value-wise. 75, 85, sometimes even 90% of what we do at Cardone Training Technologies, 100% free. So I want to make sure you're getting all the value out of it as you possibly can. Okay, so let's get into today's topic, which is what are we doing with not interested? Not interested. Click. We're just looking. Not buying today. Just looking. I told you I'm not interested. Cold call, and you heard that? Not interested. Click. What about retail, right? They've been doing retail and someone's like, just looking. Just looking. They literally push you away, put their hands up like they're trying to protect themselves. Not interested, just looking. All of those things, they're basically the same thing. What are they called? Well, ironically, that piece of data is inside Cardone University. And what we're going to do today on the Cardone Solutions Podcast is give you one of many methodologies to approach and handle just looking, not interested. Also, keep in mind, if you are not hearing this, not interested, if people are not saying that to you, it could be an indicator that you are not taking enough action. But I assume it's safe to say that that is something that you hear. If you're in sales, you hear that every single day. Yes? Great. So if you are hearing it every single day, how are you handling it? What's your approach? When someone says not interested and they don't hang up on you immediately, like, what do you do? Or is there a way to stop them from hanging up on you? Because seriously, if you don't have a plan right now, that means you're winging it, and it's like anything can happen Wednesday, and right? And they get away from you. You're out of control. You get an opportunity to sell or close if you can't get into your sales cycle. And things like just looking, not interested, right? Those things will stop the sales cycle dead in its tracks before you even get started. I mean, why do you think most people struggle with selling in the first place? I mean, more often than not, it's because they just don't have the know-how in order to handle these objections like not interested or just looking. And it's discouraging when you can't even get off the starting block, right? And nobody's going to keep doing something that they're not good at, that they're not proficient at, that they don't like. Nobody's going to continually come back and say, hey, kick my teeth in one more time. If you can't figure it out, eventually you quit. And this is one of the reasons why sales has such a high turnover ratio. And the reality is whether you're selling on the phone, you're in a retail setting, you're doing door-to-door, right? B2B, B2C, C2C, B2C, C to whatever, okay? Every person selling anything at some point is going to face objections. Wouldn't you agree? So the difference, the real difference between the people that make actual money in this industry and the people that don't, and then ultimately wind up throwing in the towel and quitting, is simply found in how well that particular individual, number one, responds to the objection internally and externally. It's how those objections are handled along the sales process. Those that are making the big money, they're prepared emotionally and verbally up here, okay, to answer every objection they hear. And that includes the simple ones, the common ones. Simple doesn't always mean easy. Don't misunderstand. But it's It's the simple ones. Not interested. Just looking. We're not buying today. We're just getting started. Okay? How you handle those will be the determining factor between whether or not you get yourself in a position to close a deal. So yeah, hey Dave, why don't you just get to the point and tell me how to handle not interested? Absolutely happy to do that for you. Glad you asked. I mean, here's the question. What if it turned out that there was an actual formula for handling objections? What if it turned out that there's actually only a finite amount of objections? You may be in a place to where you're thinking like objections are infinite, that they're random and you can't really predict them and you can't have a set routine to, like, okay, what if that's not true? Like, what if there's only a certain, like, a finite amount of objections and then there's a formula for handling all of them? If you knew it, would you view your job differently? Would you be more apt to approach a customer? Make a call. So there's two reasons before I get to the point. There are two reasons you're struggling right now. It's one, perception, two, process. Perception means you're probably looking at it wrong, seeing it the wrong way. And then the process is you may be just doing it wrong. So there's an email that Grant sent out that has his formula, his process, and one of the ways he likes to handle objections like not interested and just looking. You ready? If you're taking notes, grab yourself a pen. First thing that happens is you actually hear it. Not interested, just looking. You hear it, okay? The next thing you have to do is you have to respond to them. You have to acknowledge what they just said. Sir, I hear you're not interested. I understand you're not interested, and I take full responsibility for you not being interested. Next thing we want to do is we want to isolate that. Like, put it aside. Isolate it. So other than you not being interested, is there any other reason why you couldn't give me a couple minutes of your time right now? And then Grant wants you to validate, or even maybe discount slightly the objection. Hey, the fact that you're not interested right now, I mean, that wouldn't keep you from at least giving me a shot, would it? If the response is positive, meaning, no, I'll give you a shot, then immediately transition to fact-finding. If the response is negative or not in the direction you want it to go in, then go back to probing, okay? This is a great time to really just ask why. Okay, interesting. Really, why is that? Why are you not interested? Just curious, right? Or, so when you say you're not interested, I mean, what exactly do you mean by that? They're going to give you a response either way, okay? And then we can move right into this. So, I mean, just assuming I could show you a way to improve your current situation, that's your feature advantage benefit of your product. If I could show you a way to at least improve your current situation, would you make just 3 minutes for me? And once they respond to that, then you can move immediately back into qualifying with your value add proposition and into the process, which is the whole goal. The goal of any step in a sales cycle is to get to the next one. So right now we're in the greeting. We're going to handle objections in the greeting, and that needs to get us into fact-finding. So look, knowing how to answer things like not interested, just looking, having answers to those things when you hear it, it's literally the difference between losing a sale and not making any money and moving into the process, making the sale and making money. But in order for you to do that, you have to be able to isolate the objection, handle it before going further into your sales process. Follow. So Grant, your Uncle G, he has put together a program that has over 100 different ways to handle these types of objections, things that are like putting the brakes on your sales process. We also have laid it out with full video. So you can see Grant delivering the material, you can see Grant handling the objection, and you can start working on how you're going to do it. Okay? There's even a workbook and there's testing behind it as well. If you can master this course, you'll then be at a place to where you know that handling objections will never be your problem. Interested? See what I did there? This course is actually available inside Cardone University right now. If you are on Cardone U and you are having a hard time with objections in the greeting, transitioning into fact-finding, okay, and determining needs, if that is your challenge right now and you need to know exactly where to go inside the program to access this, I want you to feel free to reach out to me. You can call me directly, 310-777-0352. That's my awesome line, awesome office line. And I'll show you exactly where to go to get the information. Now, if you're not on Cardone University, but you're considering it, you've heard about it, or maybe you've never heard about it, and you're like, hey, what is he talking about, Cardone University, right? Happy to put you on a free trial and get you just a sample of this so that you can literally start working towards eliminating these objections from stopping you, right? You want to get to a place where you hear it, you're like, right? You're kind of happy about it, right? Because you get to handle it because you know what to do. When you know what to do, you're more inclined to like go after it. So, if you'd like to get on it, all you have to do, call that number. That works for you as well. Or you can go to cardonesolutions.com/10x your team. This has been another exciting episode of the Cardone Solutions podcast. For more information on creating a culture of learning, development, proficiency, handling objections, and real-time solutions for you and your salespeople, please visit cardonesolutions.com/10x your team, or hit me up at 310-777-0352. Email address david@grantcardone.com. Thank you for listening. And in the words of Uncle G, be great, because nothing else pays.